Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Saturday, and I am so sorry. I didn't get a video done again last week, and I think the week before, maybe. I do apologize for the delays. It really is just me getting back in the groove of things. So, trying to figure out where and how I reintroduce my life to something I share. So this week I'm going to jump in, and I kind of am. So I'm jumping in between some videos that I had recorded. The next video going to share, I do talk about being diagnosed with lymphedema and actually the full cause of lymphedema. So I am going to go back to talk about that diagnosis, but it will be one of the old video I recorded back in, I think it was like April or May of 2022. But I want to pause for a moment and emphasize two things. The first thing is I do mention in that video that I would not have known I had lymphedema if not for my breast cancer support group. Now, when I first thought of going to a support group, and I might have said this before, but when I first thought of going to one, I thought, oh, I don't need that. I do all this stuff with my brain. I'm handling this well. And all of that is true. But there is something to be said for sitting in a room of people that are going through a situation very similar to yours, that have been through something you've been through that other people can't understand. There are a lot of things about breast cancer I did not know until I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and or even shortly before. I mean, there was very little I knew actually. I'm finding out, but that support group is the nurse navigator. My nurse navigator is the one who leads that group, and she's the one who brought in someone to talk about lymphedema. And I went, wait, all those symptoms are familiar. And then I went in, was tested, and I was tested with stage 1, which is not the first stage, it's the second. Technically they have stage 0 and then stage 1. And the dangers of lymphedema are horrible. I mean, that what can happen with lymphedema is really traumatic. So I'm very grateful that I was diagnosed. So I do want to go back to talking to those people who might be diagnosed. You could have a diagnosis of anything. You could have any situation. You could have been through a traumatic event. Support groups are about more than sitting around talking about the problem. That's not what we do. We inspire each other. We get it. We sit in a room together and we get each other. We understand what happened. And I have developed the most beautiful friendships out of that group. Like, the women in my support group are beautiful and I love them. And I know my life would be less without them in it. So I would just say, give it a shot. I just told myself when I went, I'll go check it out, see what happens. And I hadn't missed a month since. Now, I think I missed January, but that has to do with my new adventure. And I will be back to the support group in March when I begin another stage of my current adventure. So but first I want to talk about lymphedema and treating it, because lymphedema is very scary. There's not a lot they know, and it really is critical that our lymphatic system work to remain healthy. So I want to give some tips to people if you have lymphedema. They do have the massage suits. It's like a suit you put on and it works air. They do the massage of the skin that treats lymphedema. They also do lymphatic massage. If you get a massage, a regular massage, don't just get a regular massage. Get a massage from somebody who understands lymphedema, because if you do the wrong massage with lymphedema, you make it worse instead of better. And it just has to do with the direction you're moving and the way you stroke. So lymphedema, you need to move toward the heart, but you need to start at the heart and work out. The way my physical therapist explained it is like a traffic jam. So I had a lymph node removed here. So to work this, I'm going to start away from the heart, get these lymph nodes stimulated, and then I'll do my upper arm, and I'm drawing toward the heart, but I'm stimulating by wiping towards the heart, but I'm starting here. Then I do my forearm, then I do my hand, and then draw all that back up through my arm up to get it moving. The lymphatic system moves in the opposite direction of the circulatory system. So that's why after a workout, I would swell up and get fatigued, because I'm increasing my blood flow rate, but my lymphatic system is not picking up that fluid like it's supposed to. So make sure you do it the right way. There's a lot of information available online. The other thing I want to give a shout out to while I'm doing this is dry brushing. So I'm a person that switched over to using essential oils away from soap. So I just use essential oils. And when I'd shower, I would just loofah and then do essential oils. I get away from soap because it's just so harmful to the skin. And I've been doing that for like 10 years, I think. And it's been really great. My skin is very healthy considering everything it's been through. So with the lymphedema, I can kind of combine those by doing a thing called dry brushing. So instead of doing the wet brushing in the shower, there's a thing called dry brushing. You just get a brush, and instead of just doing a massage, you're using a brush to stimulate the lymphatic system. I have, on my current adventure, I don't have the option of running the pump I need for my suit, and this has kept my lymphedema under control. So it works really well. So what I personally do is I stimulate the lymphatic system with the brush, and then I use my essential oils. I just mix essential oils with coconut oil. Again, I don't use lotion. And then after I've done the brush strokes away, then I'll use the oils and just work that lymphatic fluid back in the direction it needs to go. And I have lost a tremendous amount of weight. And I don't know, tremendous is the right word, but I've lost a significant amount. I've also actually could see the veins in my hands for the first time in a while, which is a big thing because I have very big veins in my hand. And when the lymphedema was at its worst, I don't know, my wrists and hands didn't look the way they normally would. So I do want to give that tip. It's so important to treat lymphedema, but if you can't afford the physical therapist or, the suit, mine was insured, but I did, a big chunk of it was my responsibility. Do look up dry brushing. Make sure you study it a lot. Don't just go to one website and just trust what they say. The wonderful thing about the internet is that it has you can get multiple opinions, and that's important because the first one you get might be 100% wrong. I mean, I talk all the time about that concept of the left and right brain, and that what people have been saying about it since around the 70s, early 70s, probably the 60s, is wrong. It's 100% wrong. It's not how the brain works. And so we do, a lot of people talk about being experts, and there's even things I've thought I knew and then learned something different. It was just like the lymphedema. I thought some lifestyle choices were helping that weren't. So I'm about at my 10 minutes. So I do want to just make sure I give you that information. Again, you're going to see a video where I talk about being diagnosed and some of what I was doing as part of my being able to still exercise and have lymphedema. I also give a shout out to the exercise program I was using, which was just absolutely brilliant, really life-altering for me. I still include it in the way I exercise today. And so you're going to get that video that I recorded almost a year ago. And then I'll either be back. There are a couple other videos I recorded, but then I will be catching you up on how I got to where I am now. So thanks for watching. Thanks for caring. I love you all so much. And I just hope that your life is an adventure. And that you have a beautiful day.